Welcome everyone to our Stronger Foundations webinar series. My name is Heather Kerber and I oversee clinical operations at PhysioCare at Home. We do encourage all participants to ask questions throughout the webinar. And to do that, you can use the chat box that's found in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. So if you want to test that out right now by letting us know where you're joining from, you can go ahead and do that. If you're joining on a computer, look at the lower right-hand corner of your screen and you'll see an option to join the chat. If you're joining us on your phone today, you should see an option to view the chat. So please go ahead and use those, try it out, and let us know where you're joining from today. So I see we have people here from across the country. We've got a few people that have commented they're joining from BC. We've got somebody in Vancouver and somebody in Surrey, BC. We do encourage you to ask questions throughout the webinar, as I mentioned, and we'll also have a Q&A at the end if your question requires a more in-depth response. We are excited about the components of the webinar today that are going to allow you to participate. So if you plan to do that, please make sure you have on comfortable footwear and clothing. Today's webinar is a free educational presentation. We aren't able to individually assess or prescribe treatment during the presentation period. Please feel free to observe throughout the optional participation component. And of course, we always recommend that you speak with your physician to determine if exercise is safe for you. We look forward to telling you more about our virtual and our in-home rehabilitation services. Our hope for today is that you will walk away with something new that you have learned that you can implement into your daily life. Now with that, I'm going to turn it over to one of our physiotherapists, Leslie.
Alrighty, thank you so much, Heather. And welcome everyone. This is our 4th webinar series from the 4-part series. We had so much fun filming this and being together with you all. And so today's webinar is about health is wealth, and this is our core value. And I want us to take a minute to be thankful for the present and future. When we are feeling unwell, when we are sick, I am feeling a little unwell today, but when we're feeling unwell, it can really dampen our mood and dampen our energy. So the wealth of the future possibilities can be unlocked through health of our present. It's really empowering when you're feeling healthy and strong because you can do activities, you can set goals that you want to achieve. If there's a hike that you want to do, if there's a mountain you want to climb, when you're healthy and strong, you can achieve those things. So it truly is wealth. Let's not be defined by our age, but our drive to remain healthy, our gratitude for our present, and our hope for the future, because we can all agree that health is wealth. So with that said, let's get started on the webinar. My name is Leslie D'Apollonia. I am a physiotherapist with PhysioCare at Home. I am Team Nova Scotia's community care leader. I have a bachelor's degree in kinesiology and a bachelor's degree in physiotherapy from Finland. I'm bone fit trained exercise professional, which means I'm trained in working with individuals with osteoporosis. My clinical areas of interest are geriatrics, post-operative rehabilitation, so for those total knee replacements or total hip replacements, respiratory rehab, individuals with lung conditions, and vestibular rehab, so the famous vertigo. Alrighty, let's talk about these negative aging stereotypes. So here on the column, we've seen this slide before. For those of you who are joining us for the first time today, on the column on the left, these are negative aging stereotypes. And sometimes we may hear those in the community, from our peers, from family members, from neighbors. And these are things such as slow down, be careful. You're too old to get strong or make gains in exercise. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. Heard that one before. And this new one, seniors can't lift weights or do resistance training. So this is actually not true, and we want to shift our mindset over to the column on the right here, which is the PhysioCare at Home model. We know that exercise is an essential component of successful aging. Age really is just a number. A 55-year-old can act and appear just as a 75-year-old. It really is a number. New skills can be learned at any age. With correct guidance and supervision, most forms of exercise, even resistance training and weightlifting, are possible. So our foundational beliefs, exercise is an important step towards protecting your spine. In physio language, we call this spine sparing, and it can slow down the rate of bone loss and build muscle and strength, which in turn can prevent falls from occurring. We believe that you can exercise at any age, and we give you the link providing safe and effective exercise. Now, I want us to look at this column here on the right and think about these different activities, whether it's picking up a laundry basket, tying your shoes, sweeping or raking, getting out of bed, moving a box. Anytime you're bending forward, how are you protecting your spine? So we know the proper way would be to hinge at your hips. And that is a fundamental movement that we've learned throughout our webinar. Hip hinging is making sure that your back and your spine are protected by staying relatively straight and you're bending forward at the hips. So it is a key movement that we want to master, is practicing that hip hinge so that you are protecting your spine throughout these activities. Just some facts on osteoporosis. And so osteoporosis is a condition that affects the bone, and it's when the bone becomes frail and porous. And so when you have porous bone tissue, it puts you at more of a risk for fracture if you were to fall. It is a condition that affects men and women. 1 in 3 women will suffer from an osteoporotic fracture during their lifetime, and 1 in 5 men. If we think about a loss of 2 centimeters measured by one's healthcare provider, or overall 6 centimeters from when you were younger, this could be an indicator of a spinal fracture. Now, it's not always true, but it could give an indication if a spinal fracture has occurred. And sometimes this doesn't have to be acute, doesn't have to be a recent fracture. It can be something that was developing over some time. Oftentimes, osteoporosis is referred to as the silent thief, and that is because it doesn't show any symptoms. Usually, we get diagnosed with it when a fracture occurs, and then it's discovered that, hey, the bones are osteoporotic. So a lot of times, it's the silent thief. It slowly steals away the bone density, and we're not even aware of it. This brings us to our first postural exercise. Now I want everybody to practice sitting up nice and tall. So uncross your legs. If your legs are crossed, let's uncross them. Have your feet flat on the floor. You're going to either stand or sit tall. You're going to imagine you're sitting tall, 2 inches taller. You can imagine that your collarbones are wings and you're spreading your wings and you're flying. As a result, your shoulders will travel backwards and down. Good. And just be mindful of your chin. Okay, so your chin should be tucked in. Now, this is very different from having your chin down or up. It's almost like a retraction. Okay, so I give the example, if someone is invading your personal space, they're getting too close to you. We're almost retracting. So just a gentle chin tuck. And that way our spine is in nice alignment. All right, give everyone a chance to practice that. We'll touch base in a few slides and see if you're able to maintain that position. All righty, so the why, here comes the why. Why are we doing this? We want to get stronger so we avoid our 1 repetition max living. Now, 1 repetition max is the maximum amount of effort you can do, resistance you can do in 1 repetition that you can lift. When we end up living this 1 repetition max, it's when the demands of your daily life are near or exceeding your maximum capacity. So this can potentially be putting yourself at injury if you're to continue to live your life exceeding the maximum capacity. We can help work with you to increase your endurance and your strength and provide education on how to ensure that living your daily life does not center around your 1 repetition max living. we look at these examples here, try to think about if any one of these examples really gets the best out of you and really exhausts you. Something like lifting a laundry basket, carrying grocery bags, lifting a pot roast, getting up from sitting, or getting down onto the floor. So think about any of these activities. If there's one of these activities that you avoid, if you avoid it because it causes discomfort or extreme effort. So it's just food for thought, and it's maybe an indication that, hey, you need to work on these skills. We know through research that older adults need more physical activity. Research has shown and demonstrates the necessity of resistance training for bone health and muscle strength for older adults. Building and maintaining strength decreases the risk of falls and injury during everyday life. Those who are consistent with exercise and movement make the most gains in their physical health and fitness. Daily movement and postural awareness will improve an older adult's ability to remain independent in their community. Learning how to effectively exercise while protecting your spine is essential if you've been diagnosed with osteoporosis. So remembering those movements, each time you're bending forward, tying your shoes, picking something up off the ground, making sure that you're protecting your spine by practicing that hip hinge movement. So we do have a video to go over. We're going to go over an outcome measure. And now this is a standardized tool that physiotherapists and healthcare professionals use in practice to determine your baseline. This outcome measure is called the 2-minute step test. And we have a video here from our online program. Jillian Stowe will be demonstrating this 2-minute step test video. And so it is challenging, so I want everybody to get comfortable, and we're going to show the video here. It'll give you some time to get ready, but it is challenging. It's going to challenge your cardiovascular system, so your heart and lung function. All right, everybody, let's get
In this video, I'm going to show you how to measure your cardiovascular endurance using a simple test called the 2-minute step test. Now, to do this, you should have some nice sturdy shoes on, have some nice free space where you won't trip over anything, and ideally next to a counter or a wall for a little support if you need it for your balance. Now, during this test, you're simply going to be counting the number of times that you're able to bring your right knee up past that midpoint of your left thigh. So if you were to take a measuring tape from your hip to your knee, you'd find that midpoint, and that would be the line that needs to be crossed every time as you step into that march, okay? So you can't be doing kind of a small march here. Every step, your knee has to cross that midpoint. It may be helpful to put a small piece of tape to mark it out on the wall, or like I do, I've got a line there so I can really use that to help me know that I'm moving past that point, all right, every step of the way. And I'm just going to be counting how many times my right leg is coming up into that position for the 2 minutes, okay? Now, if at any time you do need to stop, take a break, take a breather, that is okay. You know your body best. This test does tax our cardiovascular system, so be sure that you're listening to your body and not pushing yourself beyond your capacity, okay? If you were to measure how hard you're working on that scale from 0 to 10, probably should be in that 6, 7, or 8 out of 10 range, okay? So again, listen to your body, you know you best, all right? And no matter when you stop, if you're not able to make the full 2 minutes, make sure you're still recording how many repetitions you were able to achieve, okay, for the time that you did do the step test, all right? Now, I'm gonna put 2 minutes on the clock, find your positioning, here we go, 3, 2, 1, let's step it out. And just counting the right knee. How many times? Here we go. Keep driving that knee up. Stay tall, tummy tight. Good job, halfway there. I know it feels like a long time. Should be breathing a little heavy. Keep driving those knees. We're almost there. And that is time. Well done. All right, I'm breathing heavy. Are you breathing heavy? Don't forget, I want you to record how many repetitions were you able to achieve, okay? How many times were you able to lift that right knee up throughout that 2 minutes? Again, if you had to stop and then restart, just count how many total repetitions were you able to achieve with that right leg, okay? Great job. It's okay if you're breathing heavy. The point of this test is certainly to test and tax our cardiovascular system. So take a moment, take a breather, grab a drink of water, record your number, and then we'll retest it at the end of our program and see how much progress you've made. All right, great job. We'll see you in the next video.
Alrighty, how did we do? How did that feel? Please feel free to comment in the comment section. We won't post your scores or post your results, but let us know, how did it feel? Was it challenging? Did 2 minutes feel like 5 minutes? So just let us know. It is a test that is taxing and hard on that cardiovascular system. It is meant to determine what your score is. So let's go over the results here. Alrighty. So the higher number of steps that you completed means the better your cardiovascular endurance is. If we break up the categories into male and female, between the age category 60 and 69, if you're a male, your target is 106 to 101 steps. Notice how as the age increases, the target number of steps decreases. Okay? If you're between the age category 60 and 69 and you're female, the target is 97 to 93. 70 and 79, you're male, target is 95 to 88. A female, 89 to 84 steps. Between the ages of 80 and 89 years old, the target for a male is 80 to 71 steps. For females, 78 to 70 steps. Those are the cutoff scores. If you're between the age of 90 to 94 and you're male and female, it's the target of 60. So you're wondering, say I am 90 years old and I got 30 steps, then it means that right now your cardiovascular endurance needs a little bit of work. If you are a female and you're between the age category, if you're 61 years old and what you received is 115 steps, that's awesome. You're above your target zone, so you're doing a great job. Keep going with your cardio routine. If you have any questions at all, please comment and we can address those questions later on in the webinar. Alrighty, thinking about why is this important to have a good cardiovascular system? It's health. Very good. It's healthy. So a healthy heart and healthy lungs gives you energy. It makes you feel rejuvenated. It will cause less fatigue when you're performing certain activities, going up the stairs, carrying groceries, going for a bike ride with your friends, or going for a walk with your dog. If you have a strong cardiovascular system, you will be able to cover more distance without as many breaks, without feeling fatigued, or without feeling too much out of breath. So why do you think improving these movements will help? It can translate into everyday life, everyday activities, from the certain motions that I mentioned, going up the stairs, traveling, biking, walking. All of these exercises incorporate your cardiovascular system. Now we do have an exercise. This is supported jumps. It's a little bit different than cardiovascular system, but it does target your lower extremity strength, your balance, and it's a really good indicator, really good exercise for osteoporosis to build that bone density. So we're going to show this video here.
In this video, I want to share with you another foundational movement, supported jumping. Now that may sound scary to some of you. If you think about when was the last time that you jumped, it may be a long time in the past. But supported jumping challenges your muscles with their explosive power, challenges your balance, your cardiovascular system, and most importantly, it is excellent for your bone health. All right, so I'm going to show you the how-to. I want you to make sure you're wearing nice, supportive, sturdy shoes and find a nice supportive surface like a countertop or the back of a couch, something that's not going to move, and you can place your arms and your weight through it, okay? So you're going to keep your tummy tight, your feet are going to be about shoulder width apart, and you're simply going to place your hands on that sturdy surface. Now, I want you to just bend your knees slightly. You're keeping your tummy nice and tight, and you're going to place your weight through your hands into that surface and then try to push off as quickly as you can off of the ground. Now, you may try a couple and think, I can't do this, but you can, but it might take some time, all right? So you're just simply gonna tummy tight, you're gonna bend down a little bit at your hips and knees, and then you're gonna essentially just come up quickly onto your toes. If you're not able to explode and clear the floor, then that's okay. A great starting point is just quickly rising to your toes, okay? Lifting those heels off of the floor. And then from there, as you practice that and improve, then you'll be able to clear the floor eventually. And you can place your hands and your weight through your arms and figure out how much weight or support you're gonna need. So the more support, that's gonna help you and be a little bit easier to clear the floor. All right, so supported jumping is just such an essential and foundational movement. You will see it throughout our Standing Strong program, and we will progress it, okay? I would recommend that you start with trying to do 5 to 8 repetitions of the supported jumping. Try to get those done about 2 or 3 times throughout the day. Now, you can progress it by slowly decreasing how much support you're using, right? So maybe you start with a lot of support and then slowly back off a little bit, maybe one hand, maybe against the wall, and eventually maybe no support through your arms. And that's great. That's a progression of that jump. Now, again, you'll see it through the program, and we are going to continue, but I hope that you practice this at home, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
All right, did anybody try the supported jump? I love using this exercise with my clients, and they really enjoy it. It's a fun exercise that's challenging for the lower extremities, builds the bone density, and taxes your cardiovascular system, as well as your balance. So I love using this exercise. If you find, like Jillian mentioned in the video, if you do need that extra support, hold on to it. And if jumping is too much right now, you can just start by raising your heels up and down, raising them up quickly and then lowering slowly. So that's a good way to ease into the supported jump exercise. All right, you can start already today. Aim for 2 to 5 repetitions, 2 to 3 times per day. Ways you can make it more challenging: you can jump higher, decrease the amount of arm support you're using, or increase the repetitions or speed. So it's really a fun activity, and you will see this throughout the Standing Strong exercise online program. Connecting all the dots, and how does it all relate? So when you're following the foundational beliefs of prioritizing your bone health every day, getting stronger to avoid injury and exhaustion, knowing where to receive specialized help and guidance, you're on track to understanding that progress is possible. Movement is medicine, consistency is key, and health as well. Alrighty, other ways you can take action. Set a goal, do something you haven't done in a long time. Try getting down onto the floor to do your exercises, if it's safe to do so, of course. Go for a bike ride, do jumping jacks, swing on a swing in the park, or go for a swim. Find an activity that it's been a long time since you tried and go for it. Of course, you have to feel comfortable and safe to do that. All right, so these guidelines are the Too Fit to Fall or fracture guidelines. They are from Osteoporosis Canada, World Health Organization, and Canadian Guidelines for Physical Activity. So these are the ones to follow, folks. What are they saying? In relation to strength training, it's recommended 2 days per week, and you want to target your major muscle groups. So your legs, arm, chest, shoulders, and back. You're going to aim between 8 to 12 repetitions, and you want to use your body weight against gravity. You can use resistance bands or free weights. Balance exercises are something that should be done every day. Things like dancing, walking on your toes or heels, tandem walking as well. So walking with heel and toe, heel and toe. Make sure that you have a sturdy chair, counter, or wall nearby if you need that support. Postural awareness, that is something every day we should be focusing on. So for our posture that we've all learned, make sure your shoulders are back and down, tuck in your chin slightly, and drawing your chest up slightly. Aerobic physical activity, this is in relation to your cardiovascular system. And so the target is 150 minutes per week. It breaks down to about 30 minutes 5 times a week, and you can further break that into 10-minute intervals. It should be challenging. So you should feel your heart beat. You should feel a little faster, your heartbeat a little faster, your breathing is getting a little faster, and you might be able to talk when you're walking or performing this exercise, but you shouldn't be able to sing. So if you are going for a jog and you are able to sing an entire song, that is too easy. You are not running or jogging fast enough. Same goes for any other exercise if you're biking or walking or dancing. Alrighty, here's just a little bit of information on our Standing Strong Fitness program. This is an online program that after purchasing you have access to. And we do have a summer promotion that's valid until tomorrow. Tomorrow's our last day. So our summer promotion of $49. And what this gives access to, it's a program that you choose your own pace. You say if you are somebody that likes to exercise on Tuesdays and Thursdays, you pick those days. So after purchasing, you have 8 weeks of exercise classes. It's 16 exercise videos that progressively challenge you and help you get stronger. We've just seen a few tidbits of those videos from the exercise program throughout our webinars. There are 3 self-assessment videos to help you track your progress. There's foundational exercise videos to help you safely get started. There's a setup space and equipment recommendations, lifetime access to the videos at your convenience, and what the schedule looks like. Again, you choose when you start. There's no set time. You can choose the time of day and the day of the week that you like to exercise. The videos will guide you through a moderate intensity exercise program, and you won't need a lot of equipment to get started, just a safe space, a chair, some free weights or resistant bands, and a mat. If you're wondering if this program is right for me, if this online Standing Strong program is right for me, if you're interested in becoming stronger and more fit, you live independently in the community, you don't rely on a walking aid, you've been advised and cleared to exercise regularly, you're looking for safe, guided, research-based exercise program, and maybe you've been recently diagnosed with osteoporosis, this program could be right for you. Thank you so much for attending these webinars. We had a lot of fun teaching them and being here with you. I hope you've gained some knowledge and gained some encouragement to exercise, and you're on track to understanding all of our key foundational beliefs. And I'm going to pass it over to Heather for some final words. Thank you so much, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you, Leslie. So if there are any final questions, now would be the time to use that chat box. Again, if you're joining on the computer, that would be the lower right-hand corner of your screen where it says join the chat, or if you're on your phone, you would see the option to view the chat. So right now it looks like we don't have any questions, but certainly if you want to type something in the next minute or so, we can go back to that question. So thank you everyone for listening and for joining today. I hope you had a chance to participate in those videos. Following this webinar, you're going to receive an email with additional information about the Stronger at Home program. If you don't see that come into your inbox, be sure to check your junk mail because it may have ended up there. In the meantime, if you're interested in finding out more, head over to the website shown here, www.strongerathome.com, or you can give us a call or head to the PhysioCare at Home website. Remember that health is wealth, and we wish you a wonderful rest of the day. Thank you for joining.